Okay, so here's a movie that I didn't think I was going to find anywhere because, I just barely managed to find it. Yeah, there's this YouTube video that has the movie, and yet it has the title of another movie, so, um, yeah, just. You'll have to look this movie up and use the Italian. Hold on. Um, let's see. All right, I'm not going to be able to read the Italian title, but let me see. It goes by, or yeah, I guess in English it goes by The Magic Bird. I don't know why it would be called that because I can't remember any magic birds anywhere. There were some birds, sure, but they weren't even really a focus of the story, but I'll get to that in a bit. Um, the title this went under was Perils of Problemina, which I think is a more proper title. Um, but yeah, look up either of those titles. Add 1968 to the end on YouTube and scroll down a bit, and you should come across the full movie. Actually, the full movie. Yeah, the channel that uploaded it is kind of weird, but yeah, if you watch it, I guess you'll see why. But yeah, some strange stuff about the channel, but I won't talk about it. Anyway, so the story is told by some owl to his grandkids about basically this ant named Problemina getting mixed up in this confrontation between the red ants and the yellow ants. She's a yellow ant. It basically starts when the yellow ants get captured by the red ants, or I don't really care. Yeah, there's these handmade ants who get captured by these soldier ants, and you know, yeah, I honestly don't really care about talking about the plot, but um, so I think I would basically sum the experience up as this: the first half hour of this movie sucks. It's just like I was really not enjoying the first half hour. Um, um, yeah, there's just so much padding. Um, like it starts with like this lengthy scene of all these young owl kids from different countries being sent off by their parents to um, go meet with what's his name, Daddy Plump or something. Um, yeah, completely pointless opening. They meet with him. There's this really drawn out scene at the beginning of like apparently he's like a prisoner because I don't know, like I'm just um yeah, he's just imprisoned for some reason, and uh yeah, just basically everything with the owls is just completely pointless. Like the grandfather owl narrates the story, but he has like next to no role in the main story. He is like in the main story, but he's just completely pointless, and you could just take out the narration altogether. Um, yeah, just everything with the owls. Just yeah, I'd say that's the worst part of the movie. Um, although there are a few other things in the first half hour that, you know, come pretty close to that title. You know, basically almost the entire first hour, half hour of the movie is, just a bunch of bugs putting on some big show, and, I don't care, and sure, maybe there's some amusing little animation visual gags here and there, but, it's not good enough for me to get invested in what's going on, and, there's something that's about to happen, but, it's hard to even get invested in that because it's just, yeah, the opening is just so slow, and there's this singer lady who turns out isn't a very good singer. She's got like a record player in her wig. Like she looks, she's actually kind of this not so attractive older bug, and but she gets all this makeup done and she looks pretty, and she has a record player in her hair that plays this dubbed voice, all singing in the rain. And yeah, she's pointless. Like pretty much everything in the first half hour is pointless. Like sure you get some introductions to some of the characters, but yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a terrible first third of the movie. Like, yeah, it's about half an hour before anything even happens. And we're introduced to Problemina, the main character, and at first she's not very likable. Like, it shows that she causes a lot of problems, hence the name, I guess, at the plate, where the maidens work. They're taking care of these baby ants, and yeah, Problemina just causes a bunch of problems, and she doesn't even care, and she pulls pranks on the guy running the place for no other reason than because maybe he's a little bit on the strict, somewhat mean side. I don't know. Yeah, she's, at first I'm like, am I supposed to sympathize with this character? So, she does get better as the movie goes on, but yeah, for the first act, ugh. And then things pick up a little bit with the second third of the movie. It's, it's nothing special, but at least something's happening now, Um, you know, they're captured by the Red Ants, and, their leader, he's like this good-looking guy, so since this is a 1960s movie, he's not a bad guy. Now, 2010s, on the other hand, yeah, I could go into this big rant about, who's usually the villain in older movies and who's usually the villain in newer movies, etc. But yeah, he's this good-looking ant, so obviously that means that Problemina's gonna fall in love with him, and they get married in the end. Spoiler alert. Um, um, but so sure he's like orchestrating them getting captured, but he's, he makes it clear he doesn't want to hurt them. Um, I don't know. The reasoning is like something to do with survival. I don't know. at least they're trying to justify why he's not a bad guy, I guess. I guess you could go into a big debate over the morals of any of the characters. Uh, um, Basically, the real bad guy of the movie is this sergeant who's like really incompetent, and when Problemina escapes the place, the sergeant is sent out to track her down and capture her. Um, at one point, he actually has her, but then, like, for some reason, he makes his soldiers let her go. Um, it might have been like an ego thing. I forget why, but yeah, pretty idiotic. But yeah, it's still mostly generic for the second act. Um, so the third part of the last half hour of the movie isn't bad. It's it's not great by any means, but it's all right. There's some decent stuff about the red ants and the yellow ants going into war, and how Problemina wants to prevent any well-meaning casualties, if you will. Namely the commander guy that she's in love with, for obvious reasons. But anyway, the war stuff's alright. I still don't think it's the best I've ever seen. It's, I've seen much more exciting movies before this. It's by no means spectacular. And I don't know if I can really think of anything else there is to talk about. I mean, it's mostly everything to do with, like, the first third of the movie. Specifically, like, the owl narrator and everything having to do with him. And it's... overall, it's kind of sloppy and clumsy, and I can't say I really care for this movie. But I guess at the end of the day, I've seen worse. But if the movie gave me anything new, then that would be points for it, but it didn't. I will point this out. I'm kind of a sucker for different. Even some movies that, some of the animated works that I've watched already, that I've reviewed before and gave a high rating to, some of them I can't really say were really as good as I made them out to be. I probably shouldn't have rated them as high as I did. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm changing my mind because, it's, I'm not being influenced or anything. I'm just saying some of these movies I might not be as good as I thought they were before, and never mind. It's just I like when they at least try different things, and when it's something different from all the other ones I've seen. And on the flip side, I might have been a little overly harsh on Wild Swans, thinking back. Because the more I think about it, the more I feel that there might have been some other movies, specifically from the 60s, that are probably a little worse. But anyway, I don't need to go into too much detail with that talk. Maybe I could have a better discussion about it another time, but for now, this video is running a little longer than it needs to. I just had a fair bit to rant about. But this movie's not that bad. It's just got a very bad first third. that does take away some points that this movie could have potentially had. So, I'd say the end result is that this movie is very middle of the road. So therefore, I give it a 5 out of 10. And I probably would not recommend it, but I don't know if anything I talked about interests you, feel free. But yeah, I don't think it's really worth the trouble of looking it up, scrolling through YouTube results, and finding the mistitled video. So, well, anyway, as usual, I'll put anything else that I forgot to talk about in the comments, if there are any, and I guess I'll just leave it there for now. Mash it and smash it, signing off.